You want to run a Singapore TikTok or Instagram account, but you're not in Singapore, or you need a few accounts running side by side without them getting linked. A cloud phone is how people do this, but most of them have a catch nobody mentions until your account gets flagged. So let's actually explain what a cloud phone is, where the cheap ones quietly fail, and how to pick one that holds up. I run a real cloud phone farm in Singapore, so this is the honest version, not a sales pitch. A cloud phone is an Android phone that lives somewhere else and that you control from your browser. You open a tab on your laptop and you see a phone screen. You tap, you swipe, you type, and the phone does it. It stays on around the clock even when your laptop is off. To the apps running on it. It looks like a normal phone sitting in someone's hand. They don't know you're driving it from a browser on the other side of the world. That is the whole point. You get a second phone, a third, a 10th without buying any hardware. Here is the part that matters most. Not all cloud phones are the same, and the difference decides whether your account survives. There are two kinds, and most providers blur the line on purpose. The first kind is an emulator. That is Android running as software on a big server. It is cheap to spin up hundreds of them, which is why most cheap cloud phones are built this way. The problem is they don't look like real phones underneath, and platforms have gotten very good at spotting them. The second kind is a real device, an actual physical Android phone sitting on a rack connected to a real mobile network. It costs more to run because it's real hardware, but to TikTok or Instagram, it is indistinguishable from any other phone because it is one. Then there's the internet connection, and this is the other half people miss. Every phone reaches the internet through an IP address, and platforms judge you by it. A data center IP, the kind a server uses, screams automation. They see thousands of accounts behind it, and they get suspicious fast. A mobile carrier IP is the opposite. That's the kind your phone gets from Singtel, M1, or StarHub. It's shared by thousands of ordinary people checking Instagram on the train, so it's the hardest kind to ban. A real device on a real mobile IP is about as clean as it gets. Now the Singapore part. Say you want to sell on the Singapore TikTok shop, but you live somewhere else. The platform checks where you really are. A VPN pointed at Singapore from your home phone is easy to detect because the device and the network don't match the story. A cloud phone that is physically in Singapore on a Singapore SIM tells one consistent story. The device is here, the IP is here, the behavior is here, nothing contradicts anything. That's the difference between looking local and actually being local. So what do people use these for? Running many accounts at once, where each account gets its own phone and its own IP, so none of them are ever linked. Managing Singapore accounts from overseas. Testing an app under real Singapore conditions, and agencies handling a client's accounts without a drawer full of phones. If you go shopping for one, ask 4 questions. Is it a real device or an emulator? Does it have a real mobile IP or a data center one? Is the phone yours alone or shared with strangers? And does it stay logged in when you close the tab, or do you start over every time? That's exactly what we built cloud.one around. Real Android phones in Singapore, each on its own Singapore mobile IP dedicated to you, that stay logged in and that you fully control from the browser. No emulators, no data center shortcuts. There's a free 48-hour trial on the site if you want to try one before you decide. If this helped, the site is cloud.one. Subscribe, because next up I'm walking through how to run a Singapore TikTok shop from overseas without tripping the bans step by step. Thanks for watching.